Sushil Palamoni and I are thrilled today to be able to share this information with you. It's a very data-driven report, and I think you'll find it very interesting. As you know, the college recently received recognition at the Bellwether Institute in San Antonio, at which Dr. Linda Rivera and our student Isaiah Herrera received an award. At that time, Dr. John Friedman, who is a distinguished professor of economics and international and public affairs at Brown University, presented his data on upward mobility in the United States. Our Regent Scott and others were present to see Del Mar College highlighted as an exceptional example of moving families out of poverty. Dr. Friedman's research and supporting information from our own Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board are going to be presented here today, as well as the New York Times interactive data reports states that Del Mar is in the top 8%. I want to keep saying 8% of two-year colleges nationwide when it comes to boosting students' income prospects, especially those from low-income families. You will see in this data-driven presentation that upward mobility of students is considering households at the lowest levels of poverty, where parents earn less than $25,000 a year, and the next generation of students earning much more, and in some circumstances over $111,000 annually. The programs at Del Mar College over the past years and initiatives around House Bill 8 have set the stage for this accomplishment. And this is our overview of what we're going to cover this afternoon. As you see, the fading American dream is highlighted here. As we look at Dr. Friedman's work, he has shown where the percentage of children who will earn more than their parents from the one generation to the next is declining. Therefore, it is more challenging for students entering the workforce to earn more than their parents or achieve a higher standard of living. When we consider the true meaning of upward mobility of a family, it is from one generation to the next, being able to increase their annual income as compared to inflation. And these numbers that you are seeing here today are inflation adjusted. Across the country, different regions are more upwardly mobile than others, as you see in the comparison of the regions here from red to blue. This map indicates that households in which parents earn $27,000 annually and shows the trend of more to less upward mobility. Looking at our region along the Gulf Coast, where you see the green, light green, blue color, this indicates that the average household income for children of parents in that $25,000 annually range are earning approximately $40,000, so almost twice as much as their parents. As we look at this slide, Dr. Friedman was identifying the characteristics of what he considered as high mobility neighborhoods. And here at Del Mar College, we deal with all of the issues that you've seen within our student base. And in many of our programs and our student services are designed to especially address the family issues and the lower poverty rates as dealing with hunger and different issues that our families encounter. Dr. Friedman also addressed 3 policy approaches to increasing upward mobility. And the college is highlighted in his research on higher education and workforce training. Sushil Palamoni will now discuss the data from Dr. Friedman's tie to the college.
Good afternoon, Dr. Escamilla, Madam Chair, and Regents. So I'll be sharing some data from Dr. Friedman's study. There's some slides from his study, and also we have included some data points from the New York Times, as Lenora mentioned. In addition to that, we also have some data from the new coordinating board data portal that they have provided for all colleges in the state, where they can track student outcomes in terms of graduation and even employment. So the first slide that you're looking at shows mobility report cards. So in general, mobility report cards help assess community colleges and see how they are enabling upward mobility, especially for low-income students. So if you see the slide, the bar chart shows the breakdown of parental income categories from the bottom 20% to the top 20%. And if you see, we have about 11.6% of parents coming from the bottom 20%. And if you look at the line chart above, it shows that almost 16.4% of students from the bottom 20% move up to the top 20%. So that's a very strong number, and it shows that Del Mar College is a strong performer, helping students move up the economic ladder. So here we're looking at a scatter plot of access and success, and shows mobility rates for community colleges across the country. So if you see, Del Mar College is positioned quite favorably, meaning it provides access to low-income students, and also the upward mobility rate is pretty high compared to most of the other colleges. So ideally, you would want to be far right and up above. So that's where Del Mar College is, and you see very few colleges, small dots to the right, to the right of me, but to your left, that show that they are performing better than Del Mar College. And I'll show you in a minute as to where we rank across the state and the country, both 2-year and 4-year colleges. So this actually sums up that we have really strong practices of job, advising, strong advising, job-focused programs, and strong student support services that boost economic advancement of the students. So now we're zoomed in to more a detailed level at community colleges. We're looking at specifically from some community colleges from Texas. We're looking at Blinn, Alamo colleges, that's one of the very large colleges, and a few other colleges from other states. So if you look at just colleges from Texas, so Blinn has a low access rate and a moderate to high success rate. If you look at Alamo colleges, it has fairly moderate to high access, but it has low success rate compared to both Del Mar and Blinn. And if you look at Del Mar, it's comparatively higher access rate and also higher success rate in terms of moving up the students up the economic ladder. So clearly it shows Del Mar College is outperforming all those colleges, even the very large colleges in Texas. So now let's look at mobility index. So mobility index is a nationally recognized measure that was created by New York Times. So it basically combines access and success and creates an index for ranking these colleges. So if you look at the first column, Texas, we are ranked 34th among the 123 colleges in Texas. When they say colleges, they mean both 2-year and 4-year. So we are in the top 27% in Texas. If you look at the 2-year colleges, we are ranked 54th out of 690 2-year colleges. That puts us in the top 8% nationwide that Lenore was just mentioning about. And then if you look at all 2-year and 4-year colleges, we are ranked 217th out of 2,137 colleges, 2-year and 4-year. And that puts us in the top 10% of US colleges across the nation. So that's a significant position for Del Mar College across the nation. So now this slide shows where we rank. We want to compare apples to apples, right? So we're looking at only large colleges based on the mobility index ranking in Texas. So Laredo ranks number 1, followed by Central Texas, and Del Mar College is ranked number 3 among all the large colleges in Texas in terms of mobility, providing economic mobility for students. So now let's look at the wage data for Del Mar College graduates from career tech programs. So this was the data that I was talking about that we were able to pull from the coordinating board that they have provided in collaboration with the Texas Workforce Commission. So now we can look at where our graduates are working, what industries they're working in, how much they're making. So you're looking at an aggregated data for 7 years for about 5 programs that are listed above. And across every program, our graduates are making much higher, comparatively much higher than the peer median wage of all large colleges. And if you see overall, our students make about believe it's more than 15 or 16% compared to the peer median graduates, median wage of peer graduates from peer colleges. So that basically shows that Del Mar College is not just educating students, but also preparing them for the high demand and high wage jobs.
You know, as we looked at what was going on with those salary ranges, I'd like to point out that our ancillary data, just talking to our students and talking to your industry leaders, we know that many of our student graduates within just a year or two are earning twice as much as some of those salaries. Particularly in your welding and in your process technology areas, they're over, you know, your welding, your process technology people are over a 6-digit number right away. So it's quite impressive. What we have here are examples of the key initiatives that Del Mar College has been able to access over the last few years. And as we combine this with House Bill 8, you will see that many things have come together to really position us to provide this upward mobility for our students. As you see, the Dual Enrollment FAST program has expanded access across the entire region. Combining this with the Workforce and Academic Pathway programs directly supports higher wages for families. Partnerships within the community, business, and industry, combined with initiatives for families such as Valdar's Market and health plans, have directly impacted the ability for families and students to stay engaged. Dr. Friedman's characteristics of high mobility neighborhoods and supports more stable family structures. Additional support through the Freedom to Dream tuition waiver program and our short-term credentials, putting students out to work sooner and to earn and to raise their family's economic mobility is greatly appreciated by all. And really, Del Mar College is positioned itself to present all of these initiatives as we move forward. And many of you have seen over the last year in-depth presentations on each of these. What we've been able to do is throughout this whole time work with our area ISDs, business, industry, and community to move our students forward and to reach that higher level. And all of this is, I think, to be commended by the entire college, our Board of Regents, and all the faculty and staff involved, and as we've made this data-driven report.